something that Western doctors won't ask you, but holistic doctors would, is why do you think you have cancer?
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
Because the cancer survival rate hasn't changed all that much.
Mm-hmm.
I know, the only way to do it is cut the cancer out, in everyday life, not just cancer itself, but with everything. You cut the cancer out and that's how you heal. But
I have my own theory about cancer, but I'm not going to get
follow
into
the money.
We'll talk after this.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, I'm not a tinfoil hat wearer,
Right.
but I mean, something that's been around for 200 years, if it worked, it would have worked by now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But how about the common cold?
Yeah.
They can't cure the common cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you look, like just having a medical background, something that we were taught day one in medical school, right, is what they say to us is don't treat the monitor that we carry, that we could see the heart rate, the oxygen, the waveform for their breathing. Don't treat that. Treat the person and find the root cause. That's drilled into us from day one. So if you look at something like chemo, it doesn't get to the root cause of people's cancer. And it doesn't even kill the cancer stem cells. So you could remove tumors and you could do chemo and radiation, but it doesn't actually kill those cancer stem cells.
Shrinks them, right?
It doesn't do anything to them. So it can shrink tumors, but it's not going to kill those cancer stem cells. Everybody has cancer cells in them. Doesn't mean that it can evolve to cancer. But
people have been telling me I've been a cancer my whole life.
I think I told you that yesterday.
No, I'm a legitimate cancer on some people's lives.
Yeah.
Just talk to my wife; she'll tell you. You got to be hopeless at this point. Like what am I going to do? Obviously, I don't believe that this is the path I want to take with traditional Western medicine. Holistic is, it's a crapshoot with holistic stuff. I remember, I don't know if you ever saw Man on the Moon about Andy Kaufman. He was going down to South America. He had cancer, and he's going down to South America, and he's watching these witch doctors take chicken livers and act like they're taking it out of people, and these people believed it. Mm-hmm. But, at what point, what do you grab onto at this point? Yeah,
so the thing with my cancer is they say it's, quote, unquote, the most curable. If this is the cancer you're going to have, you should have this one.
Yeah. The good cancer.
You have the good cancer.
You have the good cancer.
So
you'll be fine.
Yeah. With that, I guess I kind of feel like I have the luxury of time and room to play with, right? So.
And you're young, which is working for you.
So I have a little bit of that, but then going into this experience of going to holistic, I actually spoke to 2 different people who have remarkable stories. One girl was diagnosed stage 4 terminal brain cancer that metastasized to her breast, her liver. The doctor told her she had, I don't want to give the wrong time frame, but 3 to 6 months, let's say, to live. And he wouldn't do chemo because it wasn't going to work for her. And so she had a little bit of a pity party and she cried. She's like, I guess I'm going to die. And she accepted it. And then she woke up one day and she's like, no, this is not the end of my life. And so she found these different holistic therapies that she could do. She did find a doctor to give her a combo of a low-dose chemo. She is cancer-free this day, walking around for years.
That's crazy.
So you say holistic, and it's a very broad term.
Right.
When you talk about holistic treatments for your particular type of cancer, what are you talking about?
So specifically for the clinic I want to go to, they have like 7 key principles that they go by. So it's non-toxic cancer treatments. So just one of the many therapies that they do, just to give an example, is they give you a non-toxic pill that attaches to your cancer cells and causes them to be sensitive to light and sound. And if you have tumors that are visible, they can emit light to that one. If you have more deep, they can follow a catheter directly up to that tumor and then emit light or sound to start to shrink it. But their 7 key principles are non-toxic cancer treatments, spirituality, immunotherapy, oxygenation, detoxification, nutrition, and then restoring gut microbiome. So they have all these different things that they dive into. And it's interesting because something that Western doctors won't ask you, but holistic doctors would, is why do you think you have cancer? And that question is like, it kind of hits you,
I
right?
was going to say that's a smack in the face question.
Yeah, because Western doctors are going to say, not your fault. You didn't do anything to get this. If you have anybody in your family, they're going to blame it on your genetics. If you don't, they're just going to say, it happens to anybody.
Luck of the draw.
Go eat ice cream.
Yeah. The men in my family, so it's funny you said it, because the men in my family die in their early 80s, the majority of them, of cancer. Like that's the Irish background. It's usually skin cancer that gets us. But they die. So I've kind of accepted that growing up. Like I'm 49 now, so I got 30 years left. I'm all right.
I can make it to my 80s.
Yeah, I can make it my 80s. I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. But I've done research on cancer treatments. They pull the oil from cannabis. Mm-hmm. I have a friend of mine, his name's Lee Whitley. Lee Whitley at one time was one of the biggest drug dealers in the United States. He got caught taking 30 tons of marijuana over the border. So he's no longer he's no longer allowed in the United States. He's in Canada. But he administers the oil derivatives. Yeah. And I was talking to him, and I asked him, because there's always side effects, including diarrhea, which is the side effect of every medication. Yeah. I asked him, I said, so what's the side effects of this? And he had told me, he goes, you're going to get high as shit.
You're going to laugh.
But you're
going to get the munchies.
Yep.
But his success rate is remarkable.
Yeah.
And he's willing to give it away. Give the treatment away. He wants people he wants to try to eradicate cancer. Mm-hmm. And which is counterintuitive to the Western medical field. It's give me money, and you'll be cured.
Yeah.
So
of that cancer.
And
then you get another
until you get another one. Yeah.
So where is this treatment that you got to go get?
This one is in Mexico.
Okay.
He has this doctor has 2 clinics. One's more if you're more sick, and the other one is if you're.
It's not ibogaine or ayahuasca, is it?
No, but I did do ayahuasca before.
Oh. We're going to talk afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. DMT, ayahuasca. Yeah, I was just talking.
That's what Aaron Rodgers did, ayahuasca, right?
So. Did he?
Yeah, I believe.
That wouldn't surprise me. But I was so one of the guys on Instagram Live tonight, he was a St. Croix, Wisconsin officer.
Okay.
And he got terminated by his own fault. He admits it. But he went down and did the DMT and I think he did ayahuasca. And he said it was a life-changing experience.
Yeah. It's like 1,000 therapy sessions in one. And it's hard. It's not an easy thing. You face so many things in your past, in your present.
Next week's Suffering Podcast will be in Mexico.
Let's go. An ayahuasca clinic.
We licking toads and shit. So you got to head down to Mexico, and obviously, are you working now?
No.
You're not working, so you're unemployed. Mm-hmm. So there's your roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it's a long walk from here too.
Yeah. What's your plan on trying to get down there?
We've been fundraising. I have a couple of friends that are trying to help push that.
We'll give your fundraising opportunities out.
So I have a GoFundMe. It's not very favorable to people, but I have other options. So my GoFundMe's with my name. That's Carin Rosado. It's CarinRosado. And then I do have my Zelle and Venmo linked to my email, which is my first and last name @gmail.
We'll put up a lower third right below you. You'll see it during the episode when this airs. You'll be right there. Just go like this.
Yeah.
Just go like this, and Andrew will make the magic happen. There you go.
Right there.
Carin.
Yeah, Carin. If you call the R.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have those options for people that don't want to donate to GoFundMe.
But now you obviously hold a lot of hope for this treatment.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask this question. I know it's going to be a difficult question for you. Let's say you go down there, you're able to get down there to get the treatment, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
What now?
I was very well aware that that's a possibility. And I said, at the very least, this can at least help my immune system to be able to handle something like chemo. Or maybe it regresses me to stage 2, which is a different form of treatment.
What stage are you now?
3.
You're at stage 3. Now I was a little bit ignorant of non-Hodgkins, Hodgkins lymphoma, and stuff like this. Is it possible for your body to fight this on its own without medication?
Yep.
So it is. Your body could eradicate it on its own. Mm-hmm. Because lymphoma is not anything new.
No.
It's been around for millions of years, probably.
No. And it's interesting because the differential diagnoses for Hodgkin's lymphoma is people who are HIV positive or have Epstein-Barr, which I have negative on both of those. But what's interesting is when I got sick with that virus back in 2022, which is a virus, was the cascade of a lot of my medical issues. But nobody wants to look into the correlation with that.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And correlation's not causation. I'm not saying it completely caused, but I would say it set me up.
But you're looking at it from a medical field too, and you're seeing. I'm sure you've seen enough people pass for cancer.
Yep.
And did you ever lose hope at all?
Yeah. It was just one day when I spoke to my sister one day, and she kind of was like, "This is a scam," and she's like, "You're gonna die." And
your sister told you it was gonna die? Wow.
Yeah. And I was just like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You're not doing the right research, but whatever." And then a few hours later, my cousin called me. I tried to vent with her, and she called me back. She's like, "Well, I was looking into what she said and this." And so she kind of jumped on that bandwagon. And then a really good friend of mine who I really trusted in the medical field, I spoke to him. And the minute I mentioned holistic care, I mean, he just dug into me. You know, he told me the reason why it's only 95% curable is because the other 5% mess around in Mexico and die. And like, he just, really rammed it into me. And I think that was the hardest I've ever cried since I got the diagnosis.
Rory, why'd you do that to her?
Yeah.
That's not cool.
That's not nice.
Really not cool, man.
That's why he's not allowed in here.
Yeah, exactly. You're in timeout.
Yeah.
He's sitting in that cell over there with Andrew.
But it's amazing the advancements in quote unquote, it's called what it is, hippie medicine. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody thinks it's hippie medicine.
Yeah.
Psychedelic.
Yeah.
So I've recently got into doing cryotherapy.
Nice. It's
so
hard.
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely, and I bring my kids. I bring my son. They're football players, and they get bumps and bruises and stuff. The kids on my team, So when I saw the benefits of cryotherapy, like I got out of there feeling like Superman. Mm-hmm. I slept amazing. All it does is just freeze you.
Yeah.
So we had our quarterback hurt his shoulder. I said, okay, take him to cryotherapy. He's 13, right?
Yeah.
No, he's 13, right? And he went there after cryotherapy. He wasn't able to throw like he normally throws, but he went from not being able to lift his arm up to here to here.
Right.
Or you have the harmonic egg from Abundant Healing. I went in and sat in a harmonic egg.
Yeah.
And that, you want to talk about hippie medicine, that is true hippie medicine.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. Again, slept really, really good, very peaceful, quieted my mind a little bit, salt therapy. I'm well aware of that stuff. And as much as I am resistant, my conservative mind is resistant to that stuff, there's truth to it. There's benefit to it.
Yeah. I think people lack the patience. And you go back to your roots and that type of treatment and care, it's a longer process. It doesn't happen overnight, and people don't want to do the deep change. So if you do chemo or radiation, you don't have to change anything, right? Go home and eat ice cream. Go home and have candy. You don't have to change your diet. Go do. You don't have to do any inner work or spirituality or look at yourself in the mirror and say, let's face these traumas that you haven't faced.
Face the suffering.
The suffering.
Yes.
You don't have to heal any of that. Continue to have those toxic, things lingering in your body, and just do chemo, and it kills the good and the bad cells.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So anything good that's keeping you alive is now dead. But, the bad stuff's dead too.
Yeah.
So you're all right.
So.
You're all right.
But you see some of these people that are on chemo too, losing their hair and.
That was a big thing for me, especially because I'm a redhead. We're going extinct, guys.
Wait, so you're half Puerto Rican with a red head.
Yeah.
What's going on here? What's the other half? Is it Irish?
Part Irish, part German.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, at least you get good half. That's all.
Yeah.
So where can
So what are you saying about losing hair? I'm getting offended by this now.
Well, you did have cancer.
Yeah, sitting right next to me.
I told you. I've been a cancer in a lot of people's lives. I told you this. I'm not shy about it. So where can our audience find you? And I also want you to give out those links to your GoFundMe and your email. And I wanted you to give out all that stuff as well.
Yeah, so I'm on social media. Not so much Facebook, but I do have it. Instagram, Facebook, social media is with my name, Carin Rosado. You could watch my journey through this. My Zelle and Venmo is with my email. Or you could just send... And maybe you have advice or you have treatments that you know of if there's anybody out there. So you could just send me messages, or you could, if you can donate, it's linked with my email as well. And then the GoFundMe, you could also search with my name.
Was it Carin Rosado at gmail.com?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we're coming to the end of this thing here, and you fought one battle after another. It's kind of like a Amanda Coleman type situation.
Yeah, no kidding.
But you have a remarkable attitude to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, that's amazing.
Thank you.
You've had a smile on your face the entire time.
Yeah.
But you've had to learn something.
She's looking at these faces.
How could you not?
I'm surprised you didn't start.
Yeah.
What made you throw up? Your faces. And you've gone through all this amount of suffering. It's had to teach you something.
Yeah.
So what do you think your suffering has taught you?
I think when you're going through suffering, it's very easy to go down a rabbit hole of negativity and say, why me? Why me? And I had maybe 24 hours of that. Why me? Why did I get cancer? I thought I've, ate good and exercised. And then it changed to why not me?
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a time for everything. And I think the way the world is going now, why not somebody like me to be able to handle something like this, even in my family, to show them that there's alternate ways to healing, and it just, after having a little bit of doubt, it kind of taught me to just stay true to myself, go back to my core values, So if you want to talk a little bit about the spirituality after that downfall of the all that negativity with friends, I had a dream. And in the dream, I was pregnant and getting ready to give birth. And pregnancy in a dream symbolizes new life, new journey. And everybody surrounding me was like, Carin, just lay down, just give birth here, just do it. And so I ran away to the woods. And I gave birth by myself in the woods. And when I was ready, I came back with the baby. And I just said to everybody, I'm sorry, I just had to do it my way. And so that kind of just brought me back, like, I got to do this my way, guys.
You know who did it his way? Frank Sinatra.
And Usher.
Yeah, but I wouldn't sleep with Frank Sinatra. I can't thank you enough for coming in here and talking about this, because you are what this show is all about. It's overcoming adversity. You're overcoming things. You're succeeding in the face of enormous adversity, overcoming unbelievable odds that would make most people lie down and just die.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you. I'm pulling for you, and we're going to try to pull some resources in order to try to get you to the treatment that is best suited for you.
Thank you.
And then you're going to come back when you're cancer-free, right?
Absolutely. I can't wait to tell you.
I think your positive attitude is going to work wonders for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. I mean, you're such a vibrant person. You have such a great outlook on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the number one thing in fighting this.
The power of the mind.
And you have it.
Yeah.
That's why I have no power.
You got no mind.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolute pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it for this episode of The Suffering Podcast, The Suffering of Lymphoma with Carin Rosado. And let's think about all the stuff that we learned. Quieting the mind comes in many forms. Fire pokers. Fire pokers.
Fire pokers. Say that 3 times, please.
You've got to put in the work. Sometimes you just got to say, why not me? But most importantly, just do it your way.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for this episode. Go to popple.com for a digital business card. Put in the code TSP20 for 20% discount. Follow us on all social media. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
OnlyFans.
Follow Mike at Mike_Failace. Follow me at Real Kevin Donaldson. And, of course, follow The Suffering Podcast. If you like what you're seeing, ring the bell, hit the like button. Please comment and subscribe. And we're going to see you on the next episode.